next we have your elbow flexibility exercises. We can stretch the flexor side with doing wrist extension. You can do it with the elbow straight, the elbow bent. You can get just your short wrist extensors. You can add the long finger flexors here, stretching them into extension. That would be manual or self. Towel slide to stretch your flexor. To stretch your flexors, you're gonna have the wrist and elbow extension. You can do it with the elbow straight, like you could do it with the elbow bent. And you can stretch your wrist flexors with on the table, or same thing, I can do it bent with my elbow bent. I can do straight, you can do bilateral on the ones on the wall also. Do it bilaterally, so to stretch your, and then you're gonna do your wrist extensor stretch the same exact way. Manual, inflection, and extension. You're gonna put your hand in the same position and slide it up for the stretch on the towel. They can do a combination where they do their flexor stretch, flip their hand and do extensor stretch, flip their hand and do flexor stretch, flip their hand and do extensor stretch. And you can do the same thing on the table. They can do their flexor stretch, and they can do their extensor stretch here. Self bicep stretch is just in that you can do it in pronation, you can do it in supination, using kind of your own body to block and stretch it out there. Your table bicep stretch, the way I'll just tell people to make sure they keep that pronated position is make an OK sign, put the OK sign on the table, and then come forward here. So they get that pronation and elbow extension and shoulder extension position. We can do the same thing with the TRX in all these same positions, where you can stretch holding on here in a supinated position. You can do it in a pronated position, and then you'll bias more of the bicep in that pronated position. You get more of the shoulder extension in a supinated position, most likely. Tricep stretch, or the overhead or the French stretch. You can just do it manually. So your French stretch or your French position is going to be here, and you're going to pull with your elbow, the classic stretch you used to do in gym. You can do it on the wall, where you put your one elbow on the wall and lean, just letting this arm relax. If they really don't have enough range to get a good stretch, you can stretch their left side like this. I'll be stretching my left tricep here like so. That'll be with the towel and pull down with the opposite hand. And your last one is a lateral mobilization movement for wrist extension. I'm gonna bring it a little bit closer. So this is what we call a lateral ulnar glide. So my ulna, I wanna go laterally. This hand is gonna be distal to the elbow crease. Typically, I would put my arm like this, but there's a little bar, so I'm gonna hike it up just a little bit. This exercise you really want at your side. So you're gonna have to teach them to put their this way, turn their palm just a little bit so they keep the same glide. If they turn their palm all the way here, then their glide has to be like so. That's not gonna be effective. So they're just gonna kind of turn their palm in, push against the wall, and then wrist flexion extension. So I'm using this hand to push it, push, with their arm stabilized, and this is for tennis elbow, a lateral ulnar glide.